how are you?
Pretty good, hola.
Hola. So we are very happy to have you here. Thank you for coming to our office. You are the author of Some People Need Killing, and we translated to Catalan called Alguns de la Matar by Anna Llisterri in our collection called Espores. So that now that you've been living for a while in Barcelona, what stuck with you the most?
The sunlight, I think. It's the streets, it's the sunlight, it's the kindness of people.
Oh, thank you.
Is that not true?
I don't know. If you think so, it's true then.
And what was surprising to me, and it shouldn't have been surprising, was the depth of the literary community here. And it's not just the writers, it's that people want to read, that there are bookstores at every corner, people are always wanting to talk about literature and stories and history, and I'm delighted to be here. Estoy contenta de estar a Barcelona.
That's great. So you told me you wanted to buy some shoes. Could you find the shoes?
Yes, I found many pairs of shoes. I may have spent a bit of money on shoes because they were cheap, but I also spent a lot of money on bandages because I bled through the shoes because they were very cheap, very pretty, and they hurt very much. But I am a persistent human being, so I wore them for about 3 days each.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, good news. What was your impression of the fact that the first international translation was the Catalan one?
I was delighted. It is an honor, actually, because while there are a number of translations that are about to happen, the first is Catalan. And I'm an Orwell fan, so this is where he wrote homage to Catalonia. And while this is also the land of my colonizers, Catalonia is different in its approach, I think. So I am very grateful for Comanegra, for making it happen, that while I'm here, I also get to speak to the people to whom the book has struck a chord. So thank you.
I'm interested in knowing what is the situation of the native languages in Philippines, because you are an English writer. English is the main language in your country, and it coexisted historically with the imperial language, which is Spanish, well, another imperial language. So because in Catalonia we have a special language situation, we are also interested in knowing this.
Well, in the Philippines, the national language is both English and Filipino. Filipino is also known as Tagalog, which is the language of the north in the Philippines. But it's certainly not the only other language. There are hundreds of languages across the Philippines used by varied minorities, majorities. The point of the book was always to be read by my people, by as many people as possible. And next year, it will be published in Tagalog, in our national language. While I wish I could have written with the same competence in Filipino, I'm just glad that the people who are part of the book will be able to read. So, you're right, we do speak the languages of colony. I do not speak Spanish. My grandparents spoke Spanish. I am told my great-grandmothers came out of Catalonia as well. So, we speak in whatever language that the people will read in. And I hope that across the next few years, there will be the possibility that it will be translated to other languages in the Philippines.
In the book, you explain that when you were 18 years old, you were the winner of an oratory contest. And you realized then that people were not only congratulating you because of your arguing skills, but also because the impression you gave, because of your origin and the type of speech, together with the type of speech you gave. So do you think this is a sensation that you still have nowadays?
I don't believe that people speak to me or read my book because I am exotic, that I come from a country of colony. I hope that they read the book because this is a story that applies to a lot of people. There are autocrats now in many places at this time. The Philippines is not special in this. It just sounds special because Rodrigo Duterte was very articulate about his wishes. So I don't think that's the case. I think the case is that for when I'm lucky, the people who read, they have found something in the book that speaks to them.
In the book, you chose a narrative style instead of an just informative one. So why, and how do you think this approach affects the reader?
Stories move people. And there is a difference between the statistic of how many have died to the person who has died. My job across the drug war and its aftermath is to take the body on the ground and imagine the human being behind it, what the families remember, what he liked for breakfast, whether or not he called his wife love or baby, that sort of thing. So writers are human beings. This is what moves us, in the hope that when we write about it and imagine it, it moves other people. So whether or not that's successful depends on the reader. But for me, the point of journalism, as us all writing, is to move people, to tell stories.
Yeah, one example of this, I think, it's that in the book you talk about your grandfather as a way also to explain the history of the Philippines. So can you tell us a little bit more about this? Why?
The Philippine drug war did not happen overnight. It is a product of decades of both political and physical violence in the country. And the reason I told the story of my grandfather was he was alive during the colonization. So through his eyes, I hope to have shown a facet of what had happened to the Philippines, not through cold history, but human emotion. So his relationship to the years he worked as a journalist, I hoped would explain to other people in the same way that my years as a journalist hopefully explains the drug war to them.
In the book you explain how many people, from vigilantes to all the people who were observers and knew about the death and the crimes, justified the crimes, and also they perceived them as a normal thing, an ordinary thing. And so when violence is normalized, it's easy to lose track of what is right and wrong. Do you have ever felt a little bit scary of this happening to you too?
I think reporters are in a special place, in a privileged place, because it is difficult for us who do long-form narrative investigative journalists to lose empathy. Because we're there. We are on the ground talking to the families, talking to the mothers, talking to about everything that they've gone through. So while there is a duty to make it matter to other people, for us, these stories do matter because people took a lot of risks to talk to us, have chosen to talk to us, and I'm human too, as well as a journalist. So the families matter and the people matter, and for as long as they do, there is no way to be apathetic.
So taking this idea, nowadays there's a lot of violence everywhere, and we are exposed to it by social media, the news, or video games, whatever. And this has immunized also a little bit. What do you think we could do to reverse this situation?
I think books and stories teach us empathy. That when you read, you learn about what it is to stand in someone else's shoes. So maybe it's a bias on my part, but to read, to listen, to pay attention to other people's stories, to make that effort to step outside of yourself and see what's happening, not even on the other side of the world, but what's happening inside someone else's head. And if you're not a writer, if you're not an artist, if you're not any of those things, to still speak about the stories that matter to you, the families that matter to you, and build a community that you can speak about it. So it is a dangerous thing when murder is ordinary, when genocide is acceptable. So when these things happen, you resist at the first blow. I don't think we wait for a death toll. I think we look at what's happening and say no as soon as we can.
Another thing that makes violence ordinary is also all the grammar of violence that is built around it, and the corruption of the words that you also explain in your book that Duterte made to control and persuade people. So how could we recover the meaning of the words that are kidnapped by the power?
I think language is not simple. I think there's no, this is the only meaning and the only way to use it, because language is a living thing. It evolves with people. You don't take a word and assume that the meaning is static. It's a layer upon layer upon layer of meanings across years. I think what is important is to speak about it, to call out when language is being used differently. If it evolves, it evolves, but we say what it's supposed to be, and we say what it is being used for now. And if the language hasn't evolved, if it's being corrupted at that moment, if someone says this is not murder, this is justice, we say that is murder. We call out a thing for what it means.
You define yourself as a trauma journalist. Is there a chance to become another type of journalist in the Philippines?
No. No, I think this is something I will be doing for the rest of my life, if I have the privilege to do it. Journalism is expensive, it is difficult, it is hard to get published, especially stories that people don't want to read. So I hope to have that privilege all my life. I cannot imagine doing anything else. It's just what I do. It's a compulsion, and while I've been asked many times here in Catalonia what my advice would be for people who want to become journalists, and what I say is you will end up possibly single, sad, drunk, broke, and I wouldn't trade this job for anything in the world.
That's great. So you see yourself all your life doing this?
I hope.
You hope that's
I hope, though, that someday it's a job that's no longer necessary.
Yeah.
If it's not necessary, then I will be happy to sit and write romance novels.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's possible.
The inauguration conference, someone among the public shared her point of view as a Filipino immigrant here in Barcelona about the complicated relationship with her family due to the political divergences. Which message would you give, would you express to the Filipino immigrants who are against Duterte?
Keep telling your story. This is what we believe in. To the other immigrants, I know it is difficult because a lot of the international Filipinos did vote for Rodrigo Duterte. So it's a hard fight for those who don't believe in the promises of the former president. So just keep telling your story. Keep reading, keep trying to understand what it is to stand in the Philippines over a body in the ground.
Here in Barcelona, there is a strong Filipino community. Have you had the chance to meet them?
Yes, I have. They are phenomenal human beings.
Yeah.
So at one of my book events, there was a young Filipino man who had grown up here, did not know how to speak Filipino much, but he was Filipino enough to be concerned if I was eating enough.
Okay.
Which is the concern of every Filipino, especially the mothers. Is she being properly fed? So with this concern in mind, he lined up, had the book signed, took out a bag of bread. We call it pandesal, which is little bread rolls.
Okay, now I understand.
But the next woman in line goes, I brought ham. This is not for you. This is for you to take home to your mother. So the Filipino community is vibrant and deeply Filipino.
So we finish.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the beautiful translation. It is truly an honor.
Yeah, thanks to you for writing this book.
Gracias.